Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be nothing changes until you do. Think about that for a minute, guys. If you like the content, please subscribe. So what does this mean? It means many times in life we are expecting change or hoping for change, and we are looking for external forces to change, which is exactly what we want to have happen, but we don't look inwards. And we don't understand that, in fact, for change to take place, we need to make a change. You see, this journey called life is all about us, and change is inevitable. Each and every day you are changing. Each and every day you're growing, you're learning, you're becoming educated and awakened and aware. Now, go back to the relationship you were thinking about. You were waiting for that individual to change many times. Did the individual change? They really didn't. They just tended to get worse over time. And you were beaten down, and you were being gaslit and stonewalled and given the silent treatment, experienced rage fits, and perhaps even the smear campaign, but nothing really changed in the relationship. It just got worse. It didn't change for the better, is what I meant to mention. Another thing, you were hoping that you could change the individual. Now, bear in mind what I mentioned, and as the thumbnail mentions, if an individual doesn't want to change, they don't want to improve, it won't happen. That's just the way it works. You have to want to accomplish something. You have to want to change something within yourself. You have to have the ability to introspect, to be accountable, to take responsibility. That's what a healthier individual does. They don't point the fingers at others, asking or telling or demanding that others change, when in fact their poor behavior is tolerated and it continues to go on and on. You see, that's the narcissist right there. They want others to conform, to change, to fit their needs, their wants, their whims, their aspirations. That's exactly what they want. They want a bunch of people around them that are yes people, people that are people pleasers, people that are flying monkeys, people that want to build the narcissist up to the detriment of themselves. Now, that's not everybody, but it's certainly a large amount of people that surrounds themselves with the narcissist, or who the narcissist surrounds themselves with. Point being there is nothing changes until you do. So let's say, for example, you were in school and you were studying for a test and you gave it a so-so effort. Well, what happened? Maybe you got a C on the test. You didn't do that well, but you passed and you were okay with that. Well, that's not really good. You should try to get an A. You should try and learn all the time. So what happened? You got your report card, you brought it home, your parents looked at it and said, hey, what's going on here? I think you should study a little bit harder in that class, get better test results. You did, lo and behold, you get the A, and what happened? You changed. You changed your performance. You changed the way you took the class. You became educated. Apply that same mentality with narcissism. You need to make the change, because the narcissist, the only thing they change is the mask they wear. And they look for other unsuspecting individuals who don't have the education. That's what they do. That's what they change, is the mask. But in the relationship, did it ever change for the better? It didn't. It continued to mount. The pressure mounted upon your shoulders. The weight of the relationship was crumbling all around you. And you, because you're a beautiful individual, what were you doing? You were working for the relationship, because you didn't have the wisdom back then. You had all of these ideas and thoughts that perhaps this relationship was not built on granite. Perhaps you believed it was built on sticks or on quicksand, and it was, because every narcissistic relationship, believe me when I tell you, they all have expiration dates. It is simply a matter of time when you get the wisdom, when you change, and when you change who you place your attention into. That's a huge thing. Keep this in mind also. When you're with the narcissist, your attention is placed on them so frequently. You're working for them. You're doing things for them. You are their errand boy, the pool boy, the vacation planner. You are the gopher girl. You're doing everything you possibly can to try and get back to that little breadcrumb of hope, that little sliver of enjoyment. And yes, you do accomplish that every now and again, but is it sustainable? It's not. It's not until something breaks in the relationship. In other words, a change happens, i.e. perhaps you were discarded, or perhaps you ended it yourself. And yes, did it sting? Oh, absolutely, it stung. They were some of the darkest days you've ever had to go through. And if you're going through them right now, my heart goes out to you. But the point is, this is change. And in time, you will get the message. You will heal. when you place your attention back within yourself and you understand that this is a relationship that you had to go through. There was no other way. This was part of your path. Nothing could have been done to avoid this. And I'll tell you why, because you can't change the past, and you should not be trying to predict the future. You should be living in the present moment. And when you live in the present moment, what happens there? That's right. That's when you begin to change. That's when you get your cup full. That's when you understand that you are the one with the energy. You are the one with the positivity. You're the one with the abundance and the glow. You have all of the things that the narcissist wanted to extract from you. And they did for a period of time, which again was the length of the relationship. Once you actually get the wisdom and you process that the relationship was a toxic relationship and that it didn't benefit you, that's when you put yourself back together. And yes, perhaps you will have to go through the dark night of the soul. Perhaps you will have to lose a whole lot of family members and or friends because they didn't take your side, or they didn't listen to you, or they just disappeared, or they sat on the sidelines and watched the relationship fall apart. Whatever they did, that's their business. But again, they weeded themselves out now, didn't they? Of course they did. This is when you understood, or are understanding, that change must come from within. When you change your outlook, in other words, let's say you were a glass half empty individual, which means that you were looking at things in a doom and gloom way or not in a positive light. Well, did you get positivity in your life? I can 100% tell you you didn't. Because if you are a glass half empty person, you're not looking at the goodness. You're most likely stuck in the past with some childhood wound or something, and you can't see the abundance that is just waiting to be unleashed all around you. If you are a glass half full person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You need to look at the positive things in your life. You need to create things in your life. You need to build. You need to grow. And you need to do what? That's right, you need to change, because your change comes from within. Your change should not come because a narcissist is telling you, do this, this, and this, or I won't do this, this, and this. What is that called? That's called bullying people. It's called having somebody make you do something because they're holding something over your head. And they're saying, if you don't do this, I won't do that. And again, I'm staying on track, but that's exactly how parental alienation happens. When you don't conform to the wills or the whims of the narcissist, what do? Many times they withhold affection from children or grandchildren or moms or dads. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Drop comments below. That's what happens. But it's at these moments when you understand, wow, I have so much control. I actually had so much control my whole life. I just didn't see it because, yes, perhaps you were a person with no boundaries and you just didn't know how to say no, the strongest word in the English language. And then lo and behold, you fell into the narcissistic relationship, and here we are. Now, the change must come from within you. That's a fact, because there are so many things you can't change. Example, the weather behind me right now. It's a beautiful day here, absolutely gorgeous. Can I change the weather? No, I can't. But let's say it began to rain in a few minutes. What can I do? I can change where I continue to create the video, or I can put a jacket on and weather the storm. That is what I can change, but I can't change the weather. It's the same thing with individuals, i.e. the narcissist. You can't change them. They don't want to be changed. If they did, they would have changed a long time ago. Let's put it that way. What they do is they just go through life and they try to conquer people who don't have the wisdom. They try to extract their energy, their resources, which includes their love, their money, their time, their energy, their effort, their empathy, all of these things. And again, they succeed for a period of time until they don't. The narcissistic relationship is unlike any relationship you've ever been a part of. And why that is because it's a conundrum of mystery, shrouded in manipulation, disguised by lies, deceit, and destruction. It's just the way it is. There's no substance to it. There's no core to it. The only thing that is keeping the relationship afloat is you, the person watching the video. And you now know that by now. Because remember, you were in the relationship working for it, trying to build it up, thinking you had a future, thinking you had the same agendas, goals, dreams, aspirations. Nothing could be further from the truth. The narcissist was trying to sink a hole in your boat every time you would patch it up. And eventually that boat had so many holes in it, it was gonna sink. That doesn't mean you, it means the relationship. But then what happened? When that boat sank, you swam to shore. You were super tired, exhausted, but you got out of the waves. And then you slowly began to put yourself back together. You slowly began to introspect. You slowly began to digest the relationship. And every day you were away from the relationship and or the narcissist, your energy returned more and more. And their tiny little existence faded away more and more. Perhaps you broke the trauma bond. Perhaps you've had to block individuals who were associated with the narcissist, including the narcissist themselves. Perhaps you could only utilize gray rock. But eventually, what did you do? You made changes. You made changes. See, the narcissist didn't want you doing this. All the narcissist wanted you doing was listening to them. If they said jump, your job was to say how high. It wasn't to make positive changes in your life. That's why when you're in the relationship, you gave up so many of your hobbies. You lost long-term relationships. You lost business opportunities. You lost places and or cities to relocate to, or houses. You lost opportunities because you put your life on hold and you were doing everything you can for the narcissist. That's what they wanted. That's exactly what they wanted. And as the relationship wore on, and I do mean that literally and figuratively, you were being depleted. You were getting weaker and weaker, and the narcissist saw this. What did they do? They looked to make a change. They looked to change your relationship that you had with them in for another new shiny bright object, which was the new supply or supplies. You didn't understand this back then because why would you? You weren't taught about this in schools. You believed that most people thought like you did. They don't, they never have, and they never will. But the message for this video before I close it is change must come from within. You must accept, practicing radical acceptance, that change is inevitable for all of us. And the sooner you take action and to do things that benefit you, which does include blocking the narcissist and going no contact, etc., the stronger you will get. It's just a law of the universe. It's the way it is. You can't explain what narcissism is in one sentence, and you can't get out of the narcissistic relationship in one day. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. And in your time, you will heal, you will grow. But what will you be doing? You will be changing. That's another beautiful thing post-narcissistic relationship. This is once you've come through the fire and risen through the ashes like a phoenix, you see that you are now the third version of you. You are such a different person than you were before. You are stronger than ever. You now have boundaries. You don't tolerate poor behavior. You know your worth, and you're worth so much more than being in a one-way relationship, i.e. with the narcissist. So change must come from within. If not now, when? Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the sunny Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Continue to focus on yourself. Continue to move forward each and every day and understand, make a change. Make a small positive change today. Build on it tomorrow. The next day, make another change. Do this. Take action. Believe me when I tell you, there is so much abundance on this planet for everybody. The narcissists knew this, but they wanted you working for them. They didn't want you to grow, to learn, to teach, to be the beautiful, bright light that you are. They wanted to extinguish your light. And my hope is you're getting the wisdom now and you're understanding your importance and your value and your place on this planet. Guys, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. Remember that. Continue to become the best version of yourself possible. I love you all. God bless you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys.